morning, El Paso. A neighborhood in West El Paso turns into a crime scene. The latest details from police in last night's deadly shooting.
And the body of a fallen Hatch police officer makes its way back home. Funeral arrangements and new details this morning.
Tens of thousands have been rescued or displaced, some braving the dangerous waters to check on their homes. I'm Adrienne Bankert in New York. We'll have the latest on the Baton Rouge flooding coming up.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Rise and shine. A very good morning to you, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Hillary Floren. Good morning, everyone. We're in a great mood this morning because it feels so good outside.
It does. It almost feels like fall. Is that just too much, Nicole?
Too crazy?
Too much. It will warm up this afternoon, and for the next few days, we'll start to see temperatures in the 90s. But Stephanie and Hillary are right. We're off to a very nice start. No rain in the forecast this morning. Some of the showers that we are seeing are out towards our northwest around the Gila region and Silver City. That's where most of the activity will take place this afternoon around Deming, Silver City, and Tiercy. Our ABC7 threat tracker showing that our heat, the rain, and the lightning, for the most part, will be in the low category. Our temperatures will be where we should be around this time of year, so they will not be an issue. But it'll still be in the 90s, so you'll need to stay hydrated. 69 is currently where we're sitting at the airport, a little cooler in Las Cruces at 63. Coming up at 6:07 with your weather and traffic on the 7s, we have a look at your ABC7 Weather Net site, temperatures to get you out the door, region temperatures, and that bus stop forecast.
All right, thanks, Nicole. And now to the headlines today. Police have not said if any arrests have been made in last night's deadly shooting. It did happen just before 8 o'clock on the 1000 block of KVIA.com, not far from Franklin High School. A police spokesman says a man in his late teens or early 20s was shot and killed right in front of a home. The victim's name has not been released. Neighbors were surprised to see this happen in their neighborhood.
This park where we all come to enjoy ourselves would have been filled with kids by this point, coming at about 7:30 and after dinner, just to blow off a little more energy before they go to bed.
Crimes Against Persons are helping out with that investigation.
Friends and family of the slain Hatch police officer will say their final goodbyes on Sunday. A public funeral is scheduled to take place at 3 o'clock at New Mexico State University's Pan Am Center. The doors will open at 1 o'clock. And for security purposes, backpacks, suitcases, and large bags of any kind will not be allowed inside the Pan Am. ABC7's New Mexico mobile newsroom followed the procession as his body was escorted from Albuquerque to Las Cruces yesterday. Law enforcement agencies, fire departments, and other first responders joined together to travel the 221-mile route along I-25. This morning, the body of Officer Chavez is now in his hometown, and he is being celebrated as an American hero.
Officer Chavez was shot and killed while stopping a car with 3 men inside. Police say Jesse Haynes was the driver of that car and also the man who shot Chavez and sped off. The district attorney's office in Doña Ana County tells ABC7 Haynes is looking at a first-degree murder charge this morning. If convicted, he faces life in prison without parole.
And 2 other men in the car appeared in court yesterday by video conference. James Nelson is being held without bond on a warrant from Ohio. Authorities there say he's linked to an aggravated murder. In court, Nelson agreed to be sent back to Ohio as soon as the charges in Doña Ana County are dealt with, and he also faces drug trafficking charges. And investigators say 44-year-old Tony Jones was sitting in the back seat of the car Officer Chavez pulled over. They say he was a hitchhiker. Jones allegedly had a large amount of meth inside a suitcase and is now facing drug charges in Doña Ana County.
ABC7 did get a hold of the statement of facts based on eyewitness accounts, giving us a better understanding of what they say led up to this shooting. It states that James Nelson said he remembered the officer instructing Haynes to exit the vehicle. He said Haynes then raised a gun at Officer Chavez standing at the passenger side window and fired that single shot. According to Nelson, Haynes drove away then, speeding onto the interstate and exiting. All 3 men then got out of the car. At some point, Nelson says he heard a gunshot and Haynes yelling, and he noticed Haynes had shot himself in the groin area. Nelson says that's when Haynes got back into the vehicle and sped away.
A second person who was allegedly shot and carjacked at a rest stop is recovering this morning. The Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office has yet to identify that victim. But new this morning, we're hearing from another woman who came face to face with the suspects. Good morning, El Paso's Denise Olivas is live with this story. Denise.
Las Cruces resident Socorro Garcia says it actually took her and her husband several minutes before they realized that they were caught in the middle of a dangerous manhunt. Garcia spoke with our New Mexico mobile newsroom yesterday. She stood with hundreds of people yesterday afternoon to pay respects to Officer Jose Chavez as his body was taken to Get's funeral home. She says she was driving to Las Cruces from Hatch with her husband on Friday afternoon when the scene unfolded right before them. Garcia says they weren't allowed onto I-25, so they took a back road, and before they knew it, they were just feet away from Jesse Haynes, who pointed a gun at them. Her husband reversed the car and they made it to safety.
Look, somebody's pointing a gun and telling you to stop. In my mind, I was thinking he just want to get us as a hostage or something, get a truck, or we didn't know what's going on, but it was scary.
Garcia says what she went through was terrifying, and we'll have more on the moments after they made it to safety coming up in our next half hour. Hillary, back to you.
All right, thanks, Denise. El Paso records its first case of the Zika virus, but health officials say don't worry.
I want to be clear. This man did not get bitten by an infected mosquito in El Paso. He left to Florida, that's where he got bit, and then he came home with Zika. He's doing much better. One of the nice things about Zika is it doesn't stay in your blood too long, so this gentleman is no longer infectious.
The man was in Florida, came home to El Paso, and developed the rash. The health department says he went to the doctor. The doctor sent him then to the county hospital where he was tested and began treatment. Doctors say the man is not infectious, as you heard there, but he can still spread Zika through unprotected sex.
County leaders defending their decision to increase county commissioner pay and deciding to remove a pay increase approved last week for a few other elected officials. Yesterday, commissioners voted in favor of removing the raise, with Commissioner Andrew Haggerty abstaining because some of the positions they gave raises to were already over the standard established by the county. Commissioners are backtracking. The goal is for the county's elected officials to earn 70% of the statewide average for each position.
And also out of Commissioner's Court, some different parking problems for the Tornillo Port of Entry. Despite an expansion of no parking signs all along the area, county staff now says the exporters trying to get into Mexico are lining up by the hundreds in the early morning hours. Deputies had to tow 5 cars and issued 23 citations by 8 o'clock in the morning alone yesterday. TxDOT is planning to put up more no parking signs in the near future.
It's now 6:07, time to talk about weather and traffic. Hi, Nicole.
Good morning. Here's a look at your bus stop forecast for El Paso. Temperature's a little cool to start off the morning, but will warm up this afternoon. 69 degrees, some locations a little warmer in the 70s. And in Las Cruces, we're under clear skies currently, and our ABC7 WeatherNet site showing northeast El Paso, we're at 69. At Loma Terrace, 69 degrees as well. So a little further east, temperatures are currently sitting in the 60s, but at the Texas Tech Health Science Center, we're in the 70s. Doppler radar showing us that it is a dry start to the morning, and throughout the afternoon, we're not expecting much rain in the forecast. 69 is the temperature at the El Paso airport. Calm winds in El Paso and Las Cruces. We're at 63, and Las Cruces clear skies, and throughout the region, 60 degrees in Silver City. We're at 55 Ruidoso. 65 is the current temperature in Guadalupe Pass. Coming up in your full forecast, we'll talk about those rain chances and how long they'll stick around. That's coming up. Mauricio?
Good morning, Nicole. Traffic's looking great right now across the city. We're seeing green, flowing, uninterrupted traffic right now. No delays or incidents going on. If you're heading out the door in El Paso, good time to head out. Look now over at Las Cruces, 69 miles per hour on I-10 heading west, 64 if you're heading towards El Paso, 66 right now is what we're tracking on I-25, and then Highway 70 east of Las Cruces will remain open all day. So again, across the borderland, good traffic, no major delays or issues going on right now. Coming up at 6:17 though for your weather and traffic on the 7s, I've got to look at your west side drive times plus a look at construction closures. That's all coming up.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, Mauricio.
And still to come, communities throughout Louisiana now underwater.
We'll have the latest on the historic flooding and how the state is preparing for more storms throughout the week.
It is 6:09, and this is ABC7, where news comes first.
You're watching ABC7's Good Morning El Paso with Hillary Floren, Stephanie Valle, and live reports from Denise Olivas.